Welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. I'm getting ready to run a little different wrinkle today in my data reports. I'm actually going to be using a spreadsheet program called LibreOffice Calc. It's basically an Excel clone. What I'm going to show you here today can be done with Excel, LibreOffice. It can be done with Google Sheets. It can be done with Microsoft Office 360. No smoke and mirrors. Very simple division. The most complicated thing we do is create a division and plot the numbers. Okay. So first of all, let's go get some data. So you can search for European Center for Disease Prevention Control COVID-19 download. Okay, then you see download daily numbers, and you download this down here, and you come over here, downloads. Okay, then I come over here and I delete these numbers here, and columns there. I don't really need this anymore. Don't really need population. Don't need that. And don't need this. Okay. So you got the bare essential information. Now I come over here and we save this in an ODF file. Okay. I save it to I save it over here. Okay. Now let's come back over here to this number. And we open up this. We open up our data set. Okay. Now, here's our main data set. So what I do is I just come here like this. First thing we do is we sort we sort by date. In this case, it's reported. Okay. We come back over here, use the auto filter, and we select the numbers we want. Okay. Then we copy this over. We copy the first three columns. Okay. We copy it to a spreadsheet. So we got this data over here. Okay. Okay. We come back over here. Let's get rid of this here for the moment. There we are. Okay. Cases. Then I calculate a moving average for a 14-day moving average for cases. You can see that down here. So I'm going from B2 to B15. I'm averaging that. Then when you pull this number down, it goes from B3 to B16. So it rolls forward one day at a time, but each time it's taken an average for that 14-day period. Same thing with this. All right. Okay. Then we come down to mortality. Mortality rate is simply I converted one thing I do is as I convert these fields to these columns to numbers. And so instead of formulas like here, I convert it to a number. That's actually fairly simple done. You simply come over here like this. It tends to help a little bit when you don't sort and stuff like that. So now the formula's gone. Okay, the formula's gone here also. Okay, mortality rate is simply deaths divided by cases. All right, all right. Let's get rid of these. Okay. So now we got our clean data here. I could also do a 14-day moving average of mortality rate also, that's not really necessary. So the first plot we're going to do, first we're going to come back up here, we're going to put this number back up here. Then we're going to plot cases, including a moving average. We'll do a line plot. Move the legend to a bottom. Cases. Well, that certainly didn't work well, did it? Okay. This. Okay. Move. So we'll come back down here. I'm going to do this. This. Do this. Okay. Now I'll come back down here, and I'm going to drag this down. Drag it all the way to the bottom. Okay. Now we got that. You come over here. Okay. All right. Okay. These are just straight across numbers, so there's nothing tricky here. So that's really interesting. Let's save that. All right. So let's try this one more time. Date, cases, moving average. So the uh, now you have the daily numbers. The blue line being the 14-day moving average. Let's try this with deaths also. Now let's look at this again. So now we have deaths. Let's pull this. Okay. So now we have the deaths with the 14-day moving average at the top of these here. Okay. Finally, let's take a look at the mortality rate. Now we could calculate the average mortality rate, but I think I'm going to pass on that. So not sure how that happened. Let's come back up here. Okay. So now we have mortality rate. So now we have a mortality rate. Okay. Come back to the top. Now let's do this. Now let's come over here. Turn on. First of all, let's do this. Let's convert all these to numbers. Then when we do a sort, it won't mess up the formulas. You see? So now we can do a sort or pull out individual pieces of data. Let's begin with the date. Reported greater than or equal to 3-1. Okay. So you can see we definitely got the trend up here in terms of cases. Okay. Now if we come down, we had this huge spike. Now I will point out that John Hopkins and New York Times does not have this spike here. Interesting. They do have this part down here. Okay. But anyway, you can see here we had a spike in deaths back in April, followed by a long decline down. But now it does appear to be trending back up. Okay. Take a look at mortality rates. Well, it's under 5%. This year, of course, is a bit confusing. What we're going to do, let's move this date up by 1 month. Okay? Let's try 4. Okay? Now let's take a look at this. Okay. So we had this spike. Now you can see cases are starting to move back up again. Okay? It's still relatively low. Okay? The mortality rate, you can see mortality rate, a much better picture because this line here is 2%. So this currently our mortality rate is under 2% in the U.S. Okay? So that takes care of the first report. Let's just go over here to Spain now. Uh, the process was the same. Okay? The process was the same. Uh, the, all the The code's identical. Okay. Let's go back to 3.1, just to see exactly what I got here. Okay. So now we're whoops, here we go. Now we're up to Spain. All right. Again, there's nothing tricky about this. The exact same code. Okay. Now I want you to notice something here. See these two zeros? These are Saturday and Sunday. So that means the total case from Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is 2,045. Deaths. So for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, there was only 3 deaths. Okay. So this is, and you can see these spikes right here. You see, these are all Monday dates, but it gives a really crappy plot. Okay, so but let's just come back up here. Let's just come back over here. So now we got the whole number. Okay, cases continue to spike upward. They spiked about on average. There's still about 20,000 cases per day. It looks like. Come down to deaths. You can see deaths are spiking back up again. Currently, they average about 400 deaths per day, I guess, which is way too many. Uh, Averaging 400 deaths, I guess you might say. Let's take a look at mortality. Mortality rate's a problem here because, well, we got this thing right here, okay? We got this huge, massive number there between 4.1 and 5.1. Between minus 60%. There it is. And here you can see the problem right there, right? Got a negative number. So now, if you take a look at this here, you still see a lot. You still got this huge mortality rate. I just don't think it's correct. Okay, I just don't think that number is correct. So let's come up here to 6.1 then. Take a better look at this data here for Spain. Okay, so now you get a picture of the increase here. This is saying 20,000, or is it 2,000? 20,000 cases here on average for that day. Deaths, deaths are increasing somewhat. We have a spike here for some odd reason. Deaths are close to 400 for one day here. Now, if you look at the mortality rate, you can still don't get the clear picture, okay, because you got this spike here. So let's go to 7.1. This one get a better picture of the of the of that ending mortality rate there. Okay, so now you can see the Spanish mortality rate as of 7.1 is under 2%. So that's good. That's good news. Okay. So, but Spain clearly struggling with cases and deaths. Okay, although not being helped by this method here. All right. You could, of course, just plot this here, and that's it. So that takes care of Spain. Let's take a look at Israel now. Okay. All right. Let's start by getting rid of all the numbers here. Okay, standard filter. So let's start with 3-1. Okay. And see what Israel looks like. Okay. They had a long flattening period. Then it moved up to about 2,000 cases per day, an average about 2,000. Then it had to spike up here, back around October 1st, followed by, at some point here, they went into a lockdown for 2 weeks, a 2 to 3 week lockdown, and for whatever reason, cases began to fall again, dramatically. Okay? Same thing with deaths, a long decline in deaths here, beginning about second week of October, maybe. Now, we come down here and we look at the mortality rate again, okay, you can see the mortality rate is still really low. It's under 5%, okay, on average. So the mortality rate is extremely well. You see, you got declining cases, declining deaths, and a declining mortality rate. So Israel, you're doing a phenomenal job here, by the way. So if you're a Jew in America, or you know someone in Israel, share this report with them. There'll be a link there'll be a table of contents in the bottom report there to help take a look at this. Okay. So Pakistan. So this looks really good. So finally, let's take a look at Pakistan. Okay. The same situation. They actually calculated. Okay, good. Let's come over here and do this. Edit. Well, what I'm doing, I'm converting the formulas. I'm converting the formulas to numbers. Okay. Oh, what happened up here? Oh no. Okay, here we go. Edit, copy, edit, edit, paste, numbers. Okay, so now you can see it's a number and not a formula. So anyway, same situation up here. Oh man, what happened? Okay, now now we come back up here like this, and we redo this now. Now you can see they had a single spike followed by a long decline, and I'm not quite sure these numbers are right, but it's close enough right now. But now you can see cases are starting to trend back up. Right now they had like 2,000 cases yesterday. Take a look at deaths. It looks very similar, doesn't it? The same situation. The deaths are starting to spike up a little bit. This is a mortality rate with a 14-day moving average. Okay. This is 6%, but on average, I would say the mortality rate is probably between 1.5 and 3%. So that's not particularly bad. The numbers are still pretty good. But let's just come up here to say, I don't know, 6-1 maybe. Just zoom in on some of these numbers a little bit. Okay, so now you can see this here. All right, increasing cases and increase in deaths. Deaths fluctuating about 20 per day. Cases averaging about 750 per day. You can look a little closer at the mortality rate. You can see it's somewhere between, let's just say between 1 and 3% on average. Okay, so that's very good. Now, is there any other states, countries you want to do here? I mean, we could do anything we want to. Okay, well, I think I'm going to call it quits on this particular video here. Once again, you will see. Once again, well, thank you 49 people who have subscribed to my Cable Data Science channel, and also I would appreciate a like and a share if you find this video helpful to you. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click the red button down the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Subscribe to the Cable Data Science channel so you can stay up to date on all the latest videos.